Hi, welcome to the Big Bear Homestead. And today we're going to take you guys along on a family outing. Okay, so every year in August, like the second weekend or the third weekend in August, my family does what we call decoration. Now what that is we go and remember all of our loved ones that have passed away. And we go and we decorate their headstones or their monuments and stuff like that. So we loaded up the family and we headed to Mouth of Wilson, Virginia. And our first stop is at my Uncle Ford's place. Okay, right now we are at the vault to my great Uncle Ford and Aunt Imogene. So my Uncle Ford is a World War II vet, and Aunt Imogene was extremely prim and proper, always used her manners, and always had the best tasting oatmeal cookies when you came to visit. Okay, now my Uncle Ford and Aunt Imogene, I remember going to their place when they lived in Pennsylvania. And believe it or not, when they decided to move back to Virginia, my mom and my stepdad at the time decided to buy their old place because it came with like 5 acres or something. Now this was late 70s, early 80s. I mean like 78, 79, that time, those years. And that's where I lived until I was like 8 years old. And then my mom left that man. He was abusive. And we moved to Las Cruces, New Mexico, where I got to meet my dad, and the man who became my dad, and he's my dad to this day. So after we left Uncle Ford's place, we went over to Uncle Bob and Aunt Floyd's place, who also, unbeknownst to me, my Uncle Ishmael was buried in that place also. So let's roll that footage. Okay, so now we are at the cemetery where my Uncle Bob and Aunt Floyd are laid to rest. My Uncle Bob gave at least 30 years to the Virginia State Park, which we are on park property. This little church is part of the federal park now, and so when you come to our place, the big cuckoo clock that's hanging up in the one wall has been passed down to us from them, and their little homestead is right up on the mountain, or it was right up on the mountain over here. And Aunt Floyd always used to have a very big garden where she had a lot of foxgloves, and she grew all of their vegetables, and she is the originator for the chili that I make. So we're gonna go now and pay our respects and put flowers on their headstones. All right, now my Uncle Bob and Aunt Floyd were in my life a little bit more than my Uncle Ford was. Uncle Bob and them, I always used to go visit them when I was going up to the mountain to hang out with Nanny and Papaw. In fact, like I said in the clip, Aunt Floyd is the originator of the barbecued baked beans chili recipe that if you've been lucky enough to be here when I've been making it, you've tasted it. Everybody that's tasted has absolutely loved it. But she was one of the people that I used to go and I used to hang out in her garden. She used to have a great vegetable garden, but she also had a great flower garden that was right beside her vegetable garden. And Uncle Bob was very active. Well, he was an employee for the state park or federal park that was right there by his house for the longest, well, up until he passed away. And they used to collect cuckoo clocks. And in fact, I have a cuckoo clock that I need to get repaired that came from their house. So if you know anybody that knows how to repair old cuckoo clocks or old grandfather clocks, hey, please let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate that, because I really want to get this clock fixed. Then from there, we went across the mountain and we went up to where the majority of my family is laid to rest. Now, there's a bunch of clips up here, and my Uncle Guy is buried there. That's one of the first clips that you'll see. You're probably looking at it right now. And then I walked over to my Nanny and Papaw's site, and there's a very small clip of that, so let's check that out. Okay, so now we're at the top of the mountain, where in this entire graveyard, every McGrady that's in here I am kin to in some way, shape, or form. Like right here is my Papaw's brother and his wife, Uncle Guy and Aunt Jean. Right over here is my Nanny and Papaw.
What you need, baby? Nothing.
Now this is where my Nanny and Papaw are laid to rest. Now, Nanny passed away while I was overseas in the Marine Corps, and I was not able to come back when she got really sick and when she ended up passing away, because I was doing my thing over there, and the Marine Corps didn't let me come home, and so she passed away. And then Papaw hung on there for 5 or 6 years more, maybe even 10. But he did get to meet Blaze, he did get to meet Carol, and he did officially get to meet Ladessa, even though she was a very tiny baby. Now my Papaw is the reason why I know everything I know about hunting, fishing, trapping. He had a small homestead that I used to go spend summers with. Nanny got me into horseback riding. I always worked in his garden, and Nanny is the one who introduced me to watercress. Now I'm going to be holding a contest later on in the season around Nanny's birthday to honor her, and we're going to be doing a seed packet. Baker Creek blessed us with a whole bunch of watercress seeds for this, and so thank you Baker Creek in helping me honor my Nanny. Sorry about that. So if you're not on our email list, get on that email list, which is bigbearfarms@hotmail.com, and you can be a part of that giveaway. Basically, we're going to be giving a lot of watercress packets, seeds of watercress packets away. And basically my one requirement is going to be make sure you plant it, and plant it in honor of Ladessa McGrady. That is who Ladessa is named after. Well, we visited with them for a little while, and then we went on to my great grandparents' site, where I did get to meet them, but I was a little bit. I was tiny. I was a wee lad, and so I got to hang out there. Their old house is still standing there in Virginia. I didn't get any footage of this, but we went and took Blaze, Carol, Ladessa there some time ago to visit it. Matter of fact, I'm in possession of their old mailbox, which is super cool. And we went, and matter of fact, here's my mom telling you what she remembers about her grandparents, my great-grandparents.
Okay, Mabel McGrady was my father's mother. Burl was my father's father. Burl died when I was very young. He had a aneurysm that bursted. I was like 5th grade, but we used to come down every summer for about a week or two. He was the one that would grab us and put us under the cushions as an aggravation. And it took us, because then 81 wasn't open. We had to come down the Blue Ridge. It took us 12 to 14 hours. We'd start out and come in very late. We're all very tired. And Grandpa would be waking up and ready to go and play. Grandma always made sure there was chocolate Yoo-Hoo and Dr. Pepper for us.
So it was nice to finally talk my mom into getting on camera for a little bit and starting to share some of those stories. I'm hoping to be able to get her on camera more, that she can talk about her life, her growing up, my great-grandparents, maybe more about Nanny and Papaw, and my aunts and uncles and everybody that she remembers as she was coming up, so that way I can share that with my grandkids or my great-grandkids, and it can be something that we can pass on from generation to generation. And so basically, as you look at this graveyard here on this mountaintop, I am pretty much related to 95% of the folks in this graveyard. From my understanding, somebody from the McGrady clan came over from either Scotland or Ireland. We are official Celts, means we bounce back and forth from Scotland to Ireland. We just couldn't make up our mind. And so eventually we did come over here to America, and we landed in Virginia. And that's basically where we kind of started, and we've all branched out from there. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video with a little bit of my family history. Sorry I got a little choked up there talking about Nanny and Papaw. They were just here I go again. They were just a very vital part of my growing up and my life, and I miss them terribly. So stay tuned next week. I'm hoping to have a very important video out for you guys. I think you're going to like it, and it's very informative, very educational, and if you've got chickens of any sort, you're definitely not going to want to miss this video. So thanks for coming by the Big Bear Homestead. God bless, and have a nice day.